Hello and welcome to Common Engineer Videos. I'm finally back and today I'm going to review Red Faction. Now you may be wondering, why am I reviewing Red Faction when it's an old game? Well, here's the reason why. It's an old game, but it's a good old game. It's not a shit game, it's a good game. Now to start off, Red Faction was one of the first ever games to be able to destroy things like the environment which you were in real time. It was using the Geomod engine, which they later improved on the later Red Factions. The second thing I have to say is the amount of destruction you can do in the game is unbelievable. It is just full of destruction, and as you'll see in the video, you'll see examples of the explosions that were performed. I mean, you could blast away buildings, walls, anything really. And as it says in the back of the box, join the revolution. What a, and it also says PlayStation 2's deadliest game. Now it probably was back then, maybe not now. The game is a 15, so if you're under the age of 15, it's not suited. But who gives a shit about that? If you want to play the game, play it. I recommend it. It has about 20 levels, and the game is fairly short. However, there's a lot of things to do in this game. I mean, for an early game, it had hands down lots of stuff to do. If dragging bodies, making explosions like and holes in walls, hijacking cars, vehicles, swimming, um, mass destruction of weapons. It doesn't do you. No, it does, because that is all in Red Faction 2. Red Faction, sorry. Um, Another thing I have to say about the game is the multiplayer. Now, the multiplayer isn't great, but it was quite an early game. But it is still quite funny at times, and at the odd time, I actually find it more amusing to just blow up shit than it actually is a storyline sometimes. Don't know if that's just I don't know if that's just a game or if it's just me. But the game is deadly fun. Deadly is probably a good word to describe it. There's a lot you can do. You can play around with physics and stuff like that. I mean, it's Red Faction. Do what you want. It's a brilliant game. I definitely recommend the game. Now, it also gives you some training so you can find what to do, so you can find out more about the game as well, find out things that you can do, which is actually quite cool because you can drag bodies and stuff like that, which it also shows you in the training. It also shows you t- you driving bridges and that, driving under bridges where you're underwater in the sea. If you, it's good in a sense. Now the thing I hate about Red Faction 2 is they completely despise the game's geomod technology. I mean, in the first one you can blow away pretty much anything, but in the second one it seems that you can't do that. This is why I actually prefer the first Red Faction over the second Red Faction. It's also got a deep end storyline that will enjoy. Is definitely in there, and it's definitely in the tops. One of the best PS2 games with Time Splitters, and it's one of my favourite classic games as well. Now, you may argue with me saying that it's not classic, but it is classic. The game was released back in 2001 and it was made by THQ. Now, and Voltron, I can't really say it, so try not to make fun of me just because I can't say that word. The game is fucking awesome. I have to admit, it's just a brilliant game. I definitely recommend it. There's lots of things you can do, and for an early game, it has a lot to offer. Now, it may be not up there with the Grand Theft Auto series and all the new games coming out, like Duke Nukem Forever, and you you end up throwing away Red Faction. But if you've got Red Faction in your drawer, pick it up and have a little shot, just for old time's sake, and you'll see that the game is still great and it's still enjoyable. If you really want to buy the game, you can get it dead cheap now. I mean, you could probably get it out the shops for about, God, nothing now. I mean, wherever you are, America, Europe, wherever. Um, the game definitely has a good use of weapons as well. It has 15 weapons in it, and as it says on the box, unleash 15 weapons of mass destruction. Well, I definitely say the rocket launcher, the bombs, and all that are mass destruction. But you do also have those shitty weak guns, which I hate. Anyway, until next time, guys, see ya. Enjoy the show.